What do you feel about this substantive motion?
So I'm uneasy. He's calling it a substantive motion. I'm not. I've heard privilege motion. The word substantive. Let's say that he's bringing a motion. He wants to debar Rahul Gandhi from Parliament. Now the government has had, contrary to what may be stated by them, they've had a bad week in Parliament. Let's accept that, because Jeffrey Epstein issue was stated on the floor of the House by Rahul Gandhi. The book of the former army chief, the manuscript of the former army chief, which does not show the Modi dispensation in good light over at the time of a border standoff with China, was mentioned by Rahul Gandhi. And thirdly, over all of this, Neelu, hangs over the Indo-US trade deal. And what is interesting to me, the extracts that you've read out, they are pulling out all the toolkits from George Soros, Ford Foundation, and they're suggesting that they destabilize nations. Now, let's not forget that in South Asia, we've had a lot of swift regime change around it happened in Sri Lanka in 2022, it happened in Nepal, and it happened in Bangladesh. And which is why some people say that Sonam Wangchuk, the climate activist, was picked up and put into jail. And because they fear that something is going to happen. Obviously, India is too large and our democracy has been in place for a long time. I'm not talking about regime change here, but there is a fear, there is actually a fear in the mind of foreign forces and all, in the psyche, the WhatsApp university psyche. But what is a couple of things, if the government was serious about bringing a motion, let a minister bring it, let another MP, Nishikant Dubey, can bring a sort of thing which may not stand the light of day. However, when it comes to Rahul Gandhi, let's not forget that, was it 2 years ago, Neelu? I have not had time, when there was a case which would have had him debarred from contesting election. A Gujarat court convicted him, and the punishment passed the duration where he would be debarred. A conviction, as we all know, you can be a criminal, but if you're not a convict, you can continue to contest elections. In that case, over a very an old speech, a Gujarat court said that he's convicted. And then, of course, the legal issues, that would have lost him his member of parliamentship. The other point, and that, if I recall rightly, came out at the time when he was raising a report involving a business group. That was when the government didn't want to discuss that. And a report that came out in the US. And that is when suddenly this thing happened. And then he's still there. And it would be outrageous, of course, if Rahul Gandhi is thrown out of parliament, if he loses his membership, if he's not allowed. Of course, it would be outrageous. But I'm just saying that these days, anything can happen. If the Lok Sabha speaker can say that women MPs were about to attack the Prime Minister of India and not file a FIR, not call in the security agencies, and not even call in the marshals of the house, then what are we talking about? I mean, I have questions. Call in everybody. The Prime Minister's security is precious to all of us. On live camera, this is what has been said. And this is what commentators and all who are allied with the regime have tried to say, that really there was a threat. Look how close they are standing. They have issued footage. All of this has actually happened. It's unbelievable.
So do you think that BJP, with its brute majority, even if they overlook the technical infirmities of the substantive motion, they might just get this termination sailing through? Who knows?
I mean, it will be challenged, let's face it. There are lawyers. One thing, Parliament is full of lawyers.
Yeah.
That's the upper house in particular, the finest in the land. So it will get legally challenged. I mean, there is a point, of course, institutions are not fair, but there is also a certain process. So we have to see. The charges, to me, what you have read out, sound pretty wild. They are about him being an agent of X, Y, and Z. They are about him traveling abroad. What is the charge on which one has to read through the document? A lot of it is innuendo, slander. It's just, I don't like you, so I'm going to get you. It is very much in the line of WhatsApp University forwards. So far, the sections that you have read out in your show, that is the charges that Nishikant Dubey has said. And the point is about bringing down the dignity of the army. How does that logically add up? This is an extract which was published in a magazine, and before that, published in PTI, which is a news agency, extracts of the former army chief's books, which Rahul Gandhi read out. Neelu, if you don't read out, Nishikant Dubey himself, from what I gather, was reading out scurrilous stuff about the personal life of Jawaharlal Nehru, reading out, before Rahul Gandhi read out a published article. So you cannot have, you can try, but will you legally pass how far will you try and pass all the stages of subverting the law and just locking up people you don't like? It has been very normal for articles and books to be referred to in the course of parliamentary debates. It has happened. I myself have done articles which have been referred to. I remember there was an investigation on the Centre of Properties. It was all referred to. There was something about some work thing years ago. All of these people use your articles as reference. MPs call you up for sources, for the reference links if there are any. But that is a parliament when there are committees which then sit and they examine an issue. We have already seen the degradation of Indian parliament, where they don't even send any matter to any committee. So whereas in the old days, Neelu, if there's anything before the law, anything of law, anything of policy, they would actually be consulting people, calling them, the whole panel of MPs. The government has been doing away with that tradition. They don't want any scrutiny. And by the way, the one law that they did take back, the farm laws, they passed them without sending it to a select committee, but they had to reverse it because they were confronted with the protests. That then they said is also funded by Soros and foreign powers, and everything was said then also. So any legitimate protest is funded by someone who is against the nation.
No, it's a cut and dried pattern which BJP always follows. But now with the moot question of the substantive motion moved against Rahul Gandhi and seeking his termination from Lok Sabha and a life ban on him contesting elections, that is something to be watched out for. We'll have to see how the second half of the budget session plays out. And like what Saba said, that you have crucial assembly elections in the middle of all this. So how will they play up this issue is also, we'll have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, Saba, for joining on HW.
Pleasure, Neelu. Entirely pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.